Hi everyone, it's Kimberly back from the Illumined Guru, and I wanted to post a short video about insecurities in our twin flame dynamics, as well as in all relationships and what that means for us. I felt very guided to make this video, as I always do, and I wanted to start with that. But before I get to that, I just want to remind you that you can check out my website and services and connect to all the social media and all that fun stuff on theilluminedguru.com. And the link is on the channel art on YouTube. Thanks for those of you who have newly subscribed. We just hit a little over 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you so much for your support. And I have one quick announcement. On 11/11, I'm actually holding a Saturday morning workshop. It'll be 10 a.m. East Coast time, New York time. And it's going to be about manifestation and abundance. So if you are wondering how to flourish under any circumstance, whether that be abundance in, monetary abundance or, wealth and abundant opportunities, or abundance with love and personal relationships, we're going to discuss it all. And it's going to be a really great workshop. I know some of you have asked for like a weekend workshop because sometimes it's hard in the evening, especially if everyone's in a different part of the world. So 10 a.m. will be 7 a.m. on the West Coast. It'll be, like early, late afternoon in Europe. So I hope you guys can make it. If you want to sign up for that, it's on theilluminedguru.com. Just click on book a session and click on the classes and workshops. It's already up there. And I also posted it recently on our Facebook. So facebook.com/theilluminedguru. So to the topic of discussion, insecurities in our relationships, specifically in the twin flame dynamic. So, wow, this is a big topic, isn't it? And insecurities are present within all of us. In one commonality in twin flame dynamics is that it's a huge mirror, okay? And it's often the sore spot. It's often the point of tension for a lot of the twin flame fights and running and separation, and it's stemming from insecurities. I've talked about this in past videos, but I think I'm going to deliver it now in a new way, in a new perspective. So you come to the table in your relationships with your own set of insecurities, and many of which I think we tend to, we all have a habit to different degrees, different degrees on the spectrum of attaching our identity and worth with other people. And so for instance, like when we're coupled up and someone's adoring us, and that our worth grows. But then if all of a sudden they were to stop adoring us, or become cruel or mean, or just pull that adoration away and take the focus away, or give the focus to something or someone else, our self-esteem goes like this. It belly flops, right? It nosedives. And so when your self-esteem is dependent upon somebody else, and then they pull it away, like you're leaning on them and then they pull it away, it just falls flat. So you have to remember that it really starts from within. So what do I see with twin flames? Well, in my own dynamic, as well as in every twin flame that I've worked with, and through all the twin flame stories I've heard, and and this isn't just twin flames, this is in soul connections and everything, but definitely what is brought up in the sacred mirror for our healing and awakening are these glaring insecurities that we hold. So how does this present itself? It can present itself as seething jealousy, paranoia. It can come up as a feeling, not just a general overall feeling of, not feeling good enough for somebody. We Often when there's a twin flame connection and there's a karmic partner involved, it's very easy to compare with the karmic partner. What does she or he have that I don't? So again, this brings up, but I want to remind you that all these insecurities that are being brought up in this connection, in this dynamic, are already present within us. So remember that. They're already present within you. So, it's just that what's happening is that through this mirroring, we're receiving a gift, which is go now to your healing of your own inner insecurities. And often with the twin flame connection, the rejection can feel so powerful and so earth-shattering and so destructive and so sad and so powerful. We give a lot of power to it because it's bringing up the core wound around, abandonment and not being good enough, or not being seen, or not being heard, or not being supported, and not being loved for who we are, as well as lots of other things like the comparison thinking stuff that I've, brought to light in several recent videos, where we're comparing ourselves to others, or to the twins' past lovers, or to the twins' karmic partner, or to just others. If we're doing it with karmic partners and past lovers, we're probably comparing ourselves to a bunch of other people, like people we see every day and people in our world. I want to let you know something, that insecurity is nothing to be ashamed of. And I want to tell you all that I have insecurities. Everybody has them. And once we start to become less ashamed of them and start owning them and just working on it from within, identifying the root of the core of it, and then giving ourselves the time to work on those pieces of ourselves. So where is the root of it, and where is the core of it? Well, it's probably from way back in childhood, where you felt less than a sibling, less than a classmate, less than somebody that was in your life or around you. And you felt maybe an early admiration for others who were getting more attention, or more accepted, or more loved, or more approved of. And that could be a sibling. That could be, like I said, a classmate, or just a whole variety of scenarios. Though, so this will hit home. You'll go, okay, yep, that makes sense. Well, when that's present in early childhood, and so for example, we have a parent who's favoring the sibling, tends to approve of the sibling, tends to give kudos to the sibling, and you feel like you're not seen or heard, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough. And then that mirror is mirrored to you in school, right? Like kids pick on you, or everyone else seems to be leading the golden life, but you didn't, or you didn't have as many friends, or you weren't as popular, or whatever it was. And so that all has made little tick marks with your self-esteem and your self-value, self-worth. And a lot of those beliefs we've carried with us for a very long time. And what happens is they just keep getting revalidated. And then we keep attracting partners into our life who are validating the insecurities, or making us feel less than, because we're bringing to our table our misalignment with our true self-worth. So this process of lining back up with your true self-worth and to rid ourselves of these insecurities, it's not one that happens overnight, so be patient. And it happens by connecting to your true self. It happens by loving yourself. It happens by connecting with the things that you love to do. It happens by looking positively at and feeling grateful for everything that you have and were given naturally, both physically and all the skills and talents and gifts that you were given. It also really, really, really helps to identify where that core is, like specifically for you, like where it came from. Did it come from your mom or your dad, or was it the whole dynamic with your siblings, with both your parents, or was it, identify that, find out what that is for yourself, and then understand that, and then try to uncover what the belief was around that. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not, whatever that is, whatever you've carried through. Because most likely in your twin flame dynamic, those are the things that you've been crying out. You don't love me enough. I'm not good enough for you. Why her, not me? I'm not pretty enough for you. Like, those things are what are coming up in this connection, in this dynamic. And so once you identify the core, where it stems from, and then the belief, which is the I statements, I'm not enough, I'm not this, I'm not. Start to really look at this and go, okay, what am I? So start the I am statements. I am powerful. I am a great manifester. I am very kind. I am very empathetic. I am very genuine. I am very sweet. I am very, okay? And start to build on those and where you find evidence for those, okay? And be aware of the things that you're rejecting in yourself, whether it's your skin, your hair, your thighs, if it's your intellect, your success with your job. Make that list too. Where am I rejecting myself? Where have I maybe been rejecting myself for a long time? Telling myself I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, someone else has something better. And then start one by one pulling each thing into the finding evidence for category, which means you're going to start to find evidence for, you do have beautiful skin, you do have great hair, and you do have all the success that you need, and more is coming to you. And you have been valuable on whatever team you're on, because we can tell ourselves a lot of bullshit when we're caught in the insecurities. We'll tell ourselves, not only there's I'm not worthy, but we'll say we'll draw like big, massive conclusions. Nobody likes me. I have no value in this project that I'm working on, or I'm not feeling valued, so therefore I'm not valuable. You've got to go back to the core of this, and that is you at the soul level. And if you're feeling these insecurities come up, which I've heard from a lot of twins, a lot of it's about physical looks, insecurities in the twin flame dynamic. Again, it's not something I'm just making up. It's just things that I've heard from clients and from you guys, from the audience. It's present. And these things aren't going to be healed through your twin, and they're not going to be healed through anyone else. They're only going to be healed through you. And in fact, for the union to happen and stick and be healthy, and for it to be a true union, you've got to come to the table whole, which means you've got to heal those insecurities. That's why, as I've been talking in recent videos about the feminine, needing to take some space for herself and self-focus and go, no, I have to align with my self-worth. That's what I'm talking about. It's time to line up with self. What you love to do, what you love about yourself. Just spend a week observing yourself. Where are you drastically insecure? Where? Because I guarantee this chatter is happening in your head all day long. I wasn't good enough for him. I'm not good enough for that. I'm not as good as she is. She looks better. She is better. That's that. You're constantly, it's a constant chatter for most people. So we've got to recognize where we're rejecting ourselves. We've got to recognize where these insecurities are and spend some time healing them. And so this will come twofold. It's finding the evidence for that we are, and it's also working on the parts of ourselves that we are rejecting. And with love and compassion, Not with, oh, I hate my short hair. And remember I said this, if you guys watched that negative self-talk video, I said that, like, I can't wait for my hair to be long again. And I keep envisioning that long, flowy hair. But if I spend my days looking in the mirror going, I hate my hair, it's just going to hold everything in a resistant energy. And the way that you're going to attract more positive, the way you're going to rapidly progress and move things forward is by releasing that and just being present and being in the now. That's same with body image and self-acceptance with your body. It's like you've got to just love yourself and accept it and say, this is where I'm at. I see myself changing. There are some changes I'd like to make because it'll make me feel good. And I'm on my way to doing that. However, in the meantime, I've got to love myself now and find the positive aspects. And for many of us, that's hard to do, right? It's hard to do. Society has planted ideas in our head about how we need to look and what type of lifestyle we need to lead. And we've got to have lots of stuff, and we've got to be really thin, and we've got to be, it's like there's just so much there's so much pressure. And I think when you give yourself permission to go, okay, I'm not going to succumb to any of that pressure or anybody else's idea of what I need to be or who I am. I'm going to really get real with myself about who do I want to be? What's important to me? And where have I been rejecting myself and maybe even in irrational ways? Some of these ways that you've been rejecting yourself, like for example, if you've been, say you were a heavy child, okay, like heavy, you've carried extra weight, and you've been rejecting your body this for years, and you now go in and recognize where that stems from, whether it was a critical parent or just, comparing yourself to other kids or wherever that stemmed from. And that you carried that all through these years, this belief of like, I'm not good enough. I want my body to be different. I want it to be different. And if we're always in a place of wanting something to be different, we're never okay with where we're at. And we're going to hold things in a very resistant energy. So I want to remind you, get okay with where you're at. Love your body and look at things and go, is this something that started so long ago that I haven't even realized that, you know what, there are aspects of myself that I really do love. And I'm going to choose now to shift and accept this and know that in accepting it, in being in the now, in being full love with myself and everything that I am and everything that I bring to the table, that is how the change will come about. So if you've really felt like, oh my God, I haven't been able to lose that weight, or I haven't been able to change my physical appearance, or I haven't been able to make forward strides in my career, ask yourself, have you been holding yourself in a resistant energy? Have you been really dwelling on the negative from within? Have you really been beating up on yourself? Have you really been so focused on the lack of you being something or somebody else that you haven't been okay being yourself, that it's preventing your progress? Because for most people, I find it's not about getting the raise at work or, losing the 20 pounds. It's not about that. It's really not. It's really more about loving ourselves now. Because once you do that, everything can transform, especially to whatever you envision for yourself and whatever is the, like the feel-good version of yourself. You will move towards that much quicker. And then in relationships, let's go back to that, as we think about all this stuff that we bring in, all this self-hatred and all these places that we reject ourselves. And then we go to somebody else. We go, okay, so now you love me. You love all of me, and you love me no matter what. And even when I'm, like angry and mad, you've got to love me because you've just got to love me. And then they don't. And we're like, why? Why don't we? Why aren't we loved? Why are we rejected? And it's because we're going to the table trying to seek our value and worth from someone else. And we are also asking for them to love us in a way that we're not loving ourselves. And often it's the same for the other twin too. It's both twins. It's both people in the relationship have this going on to some extent, to some degree. And it's like it can morph and change, or it can ping pong, like where this person's jealous, and then this person's jealous, and then this person's feeling insecure, and then this person's feeling insecure. And it's really important, like, because you can give the other person support and reassurance and all of that, but if they're not finding it from within, it's gonna not work. And it's the same for you. If you're relying on them to give you your sense of security and your sense of self-assurance and your sense of, confidence and self-worth, it's going to backfire, because that will only be mirrored from your partner, whether it be soulmate, twin flame, or anyone else. That will only be mirrored when you're whole within yourself, when you're really happy with yourself, when you're really at peace with yourself. And if there are things that you really do want to work on within yourself, so let's say you've covered all the ground, you've gone through where you're rejecting yourself, you've accepted everything that you can accept, and loved everything that you can love, but there's still some places that you want to affect change. Keep staying in the positive and just work towards those things in a happy light, not in a place where we're hating ourselves, because that change will happen rapidly. That's one. And two, it's good. That keeps us evolving. It's good to want to evolve and change and become a better version of ourselves. But are we doing it for the right reasons? We must ask ourselves that. Are we doing it because someone once told us we didn't have enough of this or enough of that? Or are we doing it because that's genuinely what we need to feel good, and because that's how we feel like that we're the best version of ourselves? So ask yourself those questions. They're very important. So I will leave you with that. And remember also that when we jump from relationship to relationship, we don't allow ourselves this time to do this work. So if you're in a twin flame separation, this is a great time to do your work on your insecurities. You're being gifted this time, and you'll see what an amazing difference it will make in the next relationship that mirrors for you. In when the twin flame comes, back around for a check-in, you'll see how much stronger your confidence is, and how much more self-assured you are, and how much you are standing on your own 2 feet in terms of not needing your worth or value from someone else. And you'll be in a healthier place for that. And that's your work to do, and that's your job to do. And if anyone needs assistance with that, you can contact me. And again, on the website, theillumineguru.com. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.